Okay? I'm going to keep my same format. If you wanted to change colors, that's fine. This helps me keep things together, organized, so that I can make sure that I'm consistent with what I'm thinking. Here's my area. So if I look at my array, what is my array? Right, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 4 by 5. So I already know the area is 20. Very good. 4 times 5 equals 20. So it's square units because each one is a square. Remember, we're not filling it up. This is just the base of it. The next thing is I notice that there's only 2 layers on my flap. I'm sorry. Wow. Long day, I think. Okay. So I have 1 layer. This is my first layer. And I think it's just that this weather has really got us going with all the coughing and sneezing and fevers. So you guys take care of yourself out there. Okay, that's that first layer. Second layer. And I'm thinking in my head, I think I could have used prettier colors, but that's okay. So now I have a height. Can I figure out the volume on this one here? Well, if I said the area was 4, it was a 4 by 5. 4 by 5, 4 times 5 is 20. Times how many layers do I have here? 2. So what would be the volume? Okay, so let's say that it's 40. Not really a prediction, but based on my evidence. So I'm going to move over here, and remember, here's the 2 dimensions, or the 2 rows. I'm so sorry, let me back it up. The 2 layers, because we're building a foundation, just like it's 2 stories, and we talked about that. If you had a building, it had how many floors on here. So this is the first floor, the windows. Sorry about that. Don't mean to confuse you. And then this is the second layer, the second floor, because we're building up. All right. Next thing I'm going to do, again, I'm going to label. This is my length, my width, my height. I'm going to put the height over here because I may have more room. I'm going to count my length, and I said it was 1, 2, 3, 4, just like we counted here at 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to count my sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Both sides are equal. Just making sure that you saw that. So my height, I have two layers. I have 2 stories. So I'm going to put my 2 here because I'm going to have 2 groups of a 4 by 5. And that's another way of thinking of it. Because you have an array, you have 2 arrays of a 4 by 5. So now I'm going to have a volume equals, again, length times width times height. I already know the area. We just talked about it. Area is going to be 4 times 5. And we said that was 20. And I'm going to bring down my height because I'm going to have 2 4 by 5s. I have 2 4 by 5s. And my height, this is going to be times 2. And it is 40 cubic units. So building this, I would need 40 of the cubes, the snapping cubes that we use in class to make this model. Okay, any questions on that one? All right, now the next 3, still in the same pattern, but it's a little bit different. So you're going to have to create. So let's look. You still have the pattern, but now you're going to have to draw out the box. Make your prediction and still come up with the actual answer. This one right here, you're going to draw it flat. So what would it look like? And what evidence do you have to spread that box out so that you can see the flaps and the area? And then here, you're given the directions. The bottom of the box is a 4 units by 5 units, which means bottom. What does that mean? Yeah, it's base or the area. That's exactly right. So I want to kind of think of it as B and B. The base, the bottom. Okay? Of the box that's 4 units by 5 units. And this box is 3 units high. High is referring to the height. Again, you would predict it and solve it. Okay, so I'm looking at my 4 by 5s. Well, let me go ahead and start from the top. All right, so I'm going to put this one aside. Everybody understand that one? Great. All right, any questions, make sure that you message me. Let me know, and I'll get back to you. And then that way I can help you out. If not, I have duty in the morning. I switched because I was sick on Monday. But come see me in the gym if you're having any questions. All right, here's the next one. In class, we had talked about that it was really important that you knew about your area. Okay, again, I'm going to start where my flat begins and ends. This is where the fold would usually be. Okay, this is the base. I'm going to write base, which is also the same as area. Okay, so this is a new one, so I'm going to switch over and I'm going to color this one red. If you want to keep the same pattern, that's fine. Oh, it kind of looks a little holiday-ish, doesn't it? Okay, so I have my base. Then, how many layers am I going to have? Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to have 3 layers. So I'm going to start off with, let me start off with blue. 1 layer. This is going to be on the base. Be near the base, not on the base, but near. This is the first group. And now, do I already know my area? Do I know my base? Yeah, you sure do. So let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3. So 6 times 3 is, you have 18 square units here. So the base is 18. You're going to multiply that 18 by 1, 2, and 3. And this is the third one. Okay, so I'm moving over here, and I have my volume equals, and I said this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's length times width. Oops, sorry about that. Length times width times height. So I have 6 times 1, 2, 3. So I already know that the area of the base is 18 square units. And I'm going to multiply that by how many rows, or how many layers, or how many heights, how many units. So I have 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to multiply that by 3, which is my height. So 18 times 3. 3 times 8 is 24. Carry my 2. 3 times 1 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. So this one is 5 cubic units. Okay, that's how that went. But now let's draw it out. This is where I'm not really good at. But I also know that I have to have 6 on the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 3 on the side. So it's going to be a rectangle because I'm looking at the base. So it's a rectangular prism. Going to have to do some sketching and drawing. And probably more erasing than anything else. Now that stays, this stays. And this right here, I'm going to erase now that I formed it, because I have to draw lines different set of lines. And it just makes it easier in my head. Got to make that line straight. Actually, I think I have to erase that too. I'm thinking of it in my head. Okay, so there we go. And I erase this. Okay, so there's my box. Or my rectangular prism. I know that I'm going to have 6 across. So I need to, and I have 3 high. So I have to draw 1 row. So I have 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers. You see that? I'm going to take this across here and carry that. So do you see where I'm going with this? It's going to take some practice, guys, because I am not a master, and I've got a lot of great artists in the classroom that can do a better job. Do a better job than me. Okay, so now I have 6, which is going to be my length, is 6. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And over here, it says I have 1, 2, 3. Oops, I should have drawn that a little bit over. I didn't make this box wide enough, so I'm going to have to squeeze it in. There we go. So here I have 1, 2, 3 for my width. And then it said my height, well, that's 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers. Okay, so I'm going to take my same colors so that I can see my layers. This is this first one here, if we were to close this box up. This is 1 layer. And the next one is 2 layers. And I am so sorry for our video to be extra long tonight. I just want to make sure that you're understanding when we're talking about volume and how we have the area and the base with that. That is really important. Because then if not, you do get lost when you're trying to find the missing unit of measure, the missing side. Because sometimes you'll be getting the full base and only 1 measurement. Or just the base, and you have to figure that out. Okay, so there I am. And so now I had 6 times 3, which is 24. 6 times 3 is 18. I was looking over here. 18, and then my height, let me write in here. This is going to be times 1, 2, 3. I'm 3 high. So this is, I'm going to put that in parentheses, that way I can see it a lot better. So I have 18 times 3, and that equals to 54 cubic units. All right, let's look at this next one. If we were to draw this one out flat, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my length. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I know that this is going to be a cube. So I'm going to first draw and it doesn't look like a cube, does it? Okay, so there is my base. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know that it's a 4. This is 4 times 4 equals 16. So I'm going to put over here, volume equals length. I say there's 24. I'm just guessing, because I forgot to do that, and I forgot to do it up here. So sorry about that. I just kind of jump in without making the predictions, and that's kind of bad, because